Oh my God, Maria, you have to get in on this. I just got another luxury bag from that brand we talked about the other day. I just posted it on my main, but did you get to see it by any chance?
Hi, Jessica. It's been a while. I've been bedridden these days, and I haven't really gotten around to catching up with the social media and stuff like that. I've been feeling really out of it lately, honestly. Sorry about that.
Oh, really now? Well, that's too bad. I'm so sorry to hear that. So what's wrong with you then, if you don't mind me asking, of course? It's really been a while, so...
Well, it's nothing wrong, per se, but to tell you the truth, I actually got pregnant recently.
What? Wait, for real? You're not kidding, are you? Isn't it kind of like way too early to be getting pregnant? I mean, it's such a waste from the way I see it. You only just got married, too.
Well, you know what they say. Sometimes the stork just delivers early, I guess. I'm honestly kind of looking forward to being a mom and all.
But I mean, if you had gotten pregnant, you could have just told me sooner. I wouldn't have minded at all. Like, my husband's been hanging out at yours often, right? Wasn't that kind of, in the way of things, if you get what I'm saying?
Oh, no, it's really been no trouble at all, honestly. If anything, every time he comes over, he cooks dinner, so I've actually been feeling a little guilty about being pampered like that and all, to be honest.
Like, imagine still hanging out together as fully grown men, though. It's kind of funny in a way. Guys will always be guys through and through. Too bad we both married some man children.
Well, I think it's rather sweet that they get along so well. I really do. I grew up without any siblings, so I'm honestly a little jealous. I wish I had that kind of bond.
Ugh. It's because of you saying stuff like that enables them even more, you know? Oh, are you, scared to speak up because my husband used to be your boss or something? Listen, if they're being a nuisance, you can just kick them out, okay? You don't have to put up with anything you're not comfortable with.
No, that's not it. It's not that at all. Your husband's always being so considerate, not to overstep it, and again, he's been helping us out a lot, so we appreciate it.
Well, if you say so. If you're absolutely sure it's okay, then I trust you.
Thank you, too, for being so considerate as well, Jessica. I really mean it. But seriously, it's really no trouble, so don't worry about it, okay?
All right. I'll take your word for it then. But you, a mom now, huh? I'm low-key disappointed, to be honest. I won't lie. I was like, I finally found myself another wife who just get it. But I'm all alone again. These days, everyone's just getting pregnant left and right. It's crazy. It's as if they're trying to open their own preschool or something.
Oh, I see. I didn't know it was like that for you. But I mean, hey, once my morning sickness goes away, how about we grab some lunch together? Just the two of us. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that's not really what I mean, if you catch my drift. It's like the whole vibe changes once people get kids, you know? You just can't relate to the same things anymore. Not like they used to be able to.
Is that how it is? I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah, you know how there's this wall between single girls and married ones? No one admits there is, but it's totally there. It's kind of like that. There's also this wall with moms and wives too, in my experience.
Wow, I never really paid attention to that, but I guess it makes sense in a way.
Well, you are a little slow after all, but that's okay. It's cute though, don't worry. It's just, I'm well off and, have you seen how bougie my posts are lately?
Yeah, I've always thought you lived such an active lifestyle. You seem to be doing something new all the time.
So I get hated on by these trapped moms all the time. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. They say shit like, imagine having all that time, you know? They're so jealous. It's hilarious to scroll through it all sometimes. You have to see some too, I swear. It'll give you a good laugh.
Right, I will, I promise. I'll make sure to take a look once I get better and am back on my feet.
Oh God, are you going to be this boring once it's born as well? I sure as hell hope not.
Well, I don't plan on changing even once I'm a mom. At least, that's the goal. But also, this is my first time going through this whole experience, so I can't really say either way.
Oh my God, you know what we should do once it's born? This is a great idea. We should do a photo shoot and dress them up in brand clothes and luxury stuff. It's gonna drive those broke, jealous bitches crazy. I can just imagine their faces.
I think I'm going to pass on that one if that's okay with you. Also, we can't afford to buy luxury items, so it wouldn't really be feasible for us.
What do you mean? I mean, you were in the same company as my husband when you were still single, so why can't you? Don't you have, like, some savings tucked away somewhere? And it's not like Lucas is working at some third-rate company, right? He has a decent job.
I guess it's also that I want to start saving up for when my baby's born. That's a big priority for me. I don't really want to raise him poor, so I'm trying to be responsible.
Oh, so it's not that you're broke, you're just stingy, huh? Is that what you're saying?
I suppose so, yeah. That's one way to put it. I'm probably on the more conservative side with my spending. I like to be careful.
This sucks. I thought you were like me, Maria. I really did. I mean, you always had some good quality stuff on you too, so I just assumed.
Oh, I don't have that many, actually. Not as many as you might think. They're all just gifts I'd buy myself now and then when I was still single and had more disposable income.
Wait, what? Those weren't like gifts from someone else? That's surprising. I always thought that Lucas had bought them for you or something. I guess I was wrong.
Well, my husband's not really into luxury items, so he doesn't really buy them for me.
Really? Wow. Thank God I married someone who's a little bit more understanding in that regard. You really gotta choose the man you marry carefully, huh? It makes a big difference. Better pick the ones that can satisfy all your needs. That's my advice. Well, I guess it's just like I tell my followers, to each their own. Everyone's different.
I suppose so. You're absolutely right about that. Anyways, let's go grab that lunch once you start to feel better. We'll have a great time, I promise.
I'll take you somewhere you'd probably never manage to get into. It'll be a treat.
Wait, no, that's not really necessary at all. Somewhere normal's just fine with me, honestly.
Oh, quit worrying about it. It's no big deal. I just wanted to take photos to post on my social medias, so it's kind of a win-win for both of us.
All right, if you say so. If you insist, then I'm in.
Well then, take care of yourself until then, Kay. Get plenty of rest and feel better soon. I'm going to go enjoy myself a spa day now. I need some pampering.
Stop ignoring me. I know you can see all of this. Jessica, what the hell is going on here? Why are you doing this?
Oh, so you're still alive? I was wondering about that. I mean, I thought you died or something when I heard that ambulance come for you the other day.
How could you say such things? That's beyond insensitive of you after what you did to me.
How's the baby doing? Did that thing manage to survive as well?
It's fine, thank goodness, but anything more and it could have...
So that's still alive too, huh? Good for you, lucky bitch.
Listen, I really don't understand. I'm so confused. I really am. Why'd you just beat me like that out of nowhere? It came completely out of the blue. I passed out. I could have even died right there on the spot. You could have killed me, Jessica.
I mean, you really brought this on yourself, didn't you? You should have seen this coming, honestly.
What the hell did I do that deserved all this? I have absolutely no idea what I did wrong.
I know you're cheating with my husband. I have proof, Maria. I mean, I bet the dad of that baby's also my husband too, right? You can't deny it. You bitch. How could you do this to me? What the fuck is wrong with you, grilling me like this after stealing someone else's man? It's unbelievable. I thought you were the one person I could trust. I can't believe I was so wrong about you. I can't believe you do this to me. I feel so betrayed, Maria.
What? Cheating? What the hell are you talking about? I would never do that to you. The baby's dad is Lucas, not anyone else. There's no one else involved, I swear. Why on earth would you think your husband's involved? That's completely insane.
Don't fucking play dumb with me. I saw my husband taking you to the gynecologist right during work hours in broad daylight. Huh? I mean, who would ever go that far for their young brother's wife?
That's just a misunderstanding. There is a perfectly reasonable explanation for all of this, I promise. I was on my way to the gynecologist and I just happened to meet your husband who was coming back from meeting a client. And he just gave me a lift because it wasn't far. That's all there was to it, I swear.
Do you really think I'd believe such an obvious lie? You're not fooling me, Maria.
I'm telling you, it is pure coincidence. I swear on my life. If anything, that's all you went off on, believing I was with your husband? That's utterly ridiculous. I mean, in that case, there's something clearly wrong with you, Jessica. You're jumping to conclusions.
Oh, don't you get me started. There's more to it than that. That's not all the evidence I have. I have more than that to back up my claims. I saw my husband buying a book on baby names with my own 2 eyes. Who the hell thinks to name their sibling's baby? That's not normal at all. You'd only do that if the baby was actually yours. It's the only explanation that makes sense.
That's because Lucas and I asked him to be the one to name the baby. We thought it would be special, a nice gesture. Lucas and I wouldn't have met if it weren't for your husband, so we wanted him to do the honors. It's a gesture of appreciation, really. It's thanks to him we even have a baby, so we wanted to include him in this special way.
God, this is unbelievable. You're making this up as you go along. You're just full of excuses, aren't you, Maria? You're desperately trying to worm your way out of this.
Excuses? I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not making any of this up, Jessica. You're being delusional and paranoid. You're seeing things that aren't there.
Stop trying to gaslight me now. I know what's going on between the two of you. My husband started acting differently since you got pregnant. I noticed the change immediately. He got colder ever since then. It was like a switch flipped in his brain.
How is that my fault in any way?
He started complaining to me more, and I knew that something had to be up. It just wasn't his normal behavior. I mean, seriously, the other day he took away my fucking credit card. Can you believe that?
And what part of any of this has to do with me? I'm not involved in your marital problems in the slightest.
When I looked into my husband's phone, you were the only other woman he chatted with frequently. I saw it with my own eyes.
We were literally just making conversation. There was nothing inappropriate going on at all. Or he'd ask me if we needed anything before coming over to ours. It was just him being neighborly, that's all.
Oh, I bet you're just talking in codes or something, aren't you? Trying to hide your affair from me. I know you're seeing each other. Stop trying to get out of this. I'm not stupid, Maria.
Listen, Jessica, all of this, it's all in your imagination. It's not real. None of it is. Stop letting your victim mentality run wild. You're creating problems when there are none. Seriously, cut the bullshit. I'm tired of this. Are you telling me that I got beaten up over some silly little misunderstanding? That's not fair at all.
I'm telling you that it's not a fucking misunderstanding. It's all true. Every single word.
What you've done is a crime, Jessica. You assaulted me. You physically attacked me.
You're only getting what you deserve for stealing another man, you bitch. You deserve to be punished. Let me guess. You were just jealous of me, weren't you? That has to be it. That's gotta be it. You wish you could have lived like I live. And you made a move on my husband, didn't you?
You're fucking done for, Jessica. This is the end for you.
No, you're the one that's done for, Maria. You'll see. I'm telling our parents everything. They need to know the truth about what you've done. God, if only you just stayed dead, that would have solved everything. I'm never going to forgive you for the rest of my life. You ruined my life, Maria.
Don't bother, Jessica. Everyone's already right here at the hospital. They've heard it all.
What?
And everyone's been watching this entire conversation unfold. They know the truth now. Your mom and your husband are lost for words. They can't believe what they've witnessed. They're beyond disappointed in you. You should be ashamed of yourself.
What the? Why are they disappointed in me? This is ridiculous when you're the ones who are having an affair. You're the ones in the wrong.
Because we weren't. God, we've done absolutely nothing. But hey, looks like you're getting a divorce out of this, that's for sure.
What the fuck? What am I getting divorced for? I'm the victim here.
Because not only did you send me, a pregnant woman, to the hospital, which is completely unforgivable, but you did it all over some stupid misunderstanding. It's beyond comprehension. All because you were insecure and couldn't control your own jealousy. So naturally, I am going to be pressing charges. You need to be held accountable for your actions. You better be prepared, Jessica. There will be consequences for your actions.
Listen, Maria, I'm so sorry. I truly am. I did such a terrible thing to you, and I regret it so much. I can't believe I actually did that. I want the chance to apologize to you properly, please. I need to make things right between us. Can I come over anytime soon? I'll come whenever it's convenient for you.
Yeah, I don't need your apology. It is too late for that now. Oh, and you'll never meet me or Lucas ever again, so don't even try. Even if you do come, don't expect anyone to answer the door. We won't be there.
Listen, as you know, I understand if you're upset with me. This was all because of some misunderstanding, right? That's all it was.
Yeah, of course, I fucking know. How could I forget? I mean, I'm the one who got beaten up for some cheating I never even did. It's etched in my memory forever.
But please, hear me out. I have something important to say to you. It's also my husband's fault for acting in such a suspicious way. He definitely played a part in this too.
Well, I, for one, don't think that he acted in any way suspicious at all. He was just being himself.
But he started acting cold all of a sudden, and that was a major red flag for me. Well, it's only natural that I suspect he found someone else. I mean, it happens all the time, right? I mean, you were the only other person I knew about, so I put two and two together and well...
You call me the only other person, but that's only because I was just talking to him, right? There was nothing more to it than that. Listen, he's Lucas's brother, okay? It's like maybe an important connection to remember, no? If that isn't reason enough for him to come over to my place, I don't know what is. It is perfectly normal behavior for family.
But see, I'm just really hot-headed, right? I have a bit of a temper, I'll admit. Once something gets in my head, it just becomes all I can think about, and so I acted impulsively. I really did.
You're not the one who got sent to the hospital over someone else's stupid misunderstanding. Remember that. Do you actually understand the severity of what it is you've done? It was a serious assault, Jessica.
Of course I do. I know I messed up badly. I beat you when you were with child. I could have hurt your baby. I know that. I know that what I've done is the worst of the worst. I'll never forgive myself for it.
Well, it's too late to start regretting what you've done. The damage is already done. We're far beyond apologies at this point. There is no going back now. Besides, you do know that your husband was being cold because of the way you acted, right? He had his reasons.
Yeah, so I've heard. I guess I deserve that. Apparently, he also took away my credit card because of my out-of-control spending, which is completely understandable. But he turned a blind eye to it until now. He let it slide for so long, and then all of a sudden he gets angry about it? It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it's not a stretch to imagine that something else is going on, no? It's suspicious behavior if you ask me.
He told me that he's been warning you all about your excessive spending habits. He only took action because you never actually listened to him. He had no other choice in the matter. Who else do you have to blame for your reckless spending but yourself? You need to take responsibility for your own actions.
Well, I never really felt as though I was spending that much, and he works at a famous company, so I thought we were well off. I didn't see the problem with it.
Even if he is working at some big shot company, it doesn't change the fact that he's just one man. He can't support unlimited spending no matter how much he makes. I heard that you weren't always like this. You used to be more reasonable with your money. But that you started spending worse when you started social media. Is that true?
Because after getting a baby, everyone just started acting differently. It was like they changed overnight. I mean, they stopped hanging out or drinking with me. It was beyond frustrating. And they just keep bragging about how wonderful it was to be a mother. It was constant. It got so annoying that I just wanted to live a life that I knew they couldn't, even if they wanted to. I wanted to be different from them.
You sound surprised, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out that having kids will change things. It's a major life event after all.
I'm sorry. Just please forgive me. I'm begging you, Maria. I'm sorry I caused you so much trouble, okay? I'll do absolutely anything to make it up to you. I'll stop overspending and I'll never lay a finger on you ever again, I promise.
How stupid can you get? You really don't get it, do you? Do you think this is something you can just get past by simply apologizing? It's not that simple.
I'm going to get divorced the way things are going right now. My marriage is over. And if you don't forgive me, my husband's actually going to leave me. I'll be all alone.
You're getting exactly what you deserve. You brought this on yourself, Jessica. You spent your husband's hard-earned money on absolute trash, and then you have the nerve to accuse him of cheating on you? And as if it couldn't get any worse, you send me, a complete bystander, to the hospital with your violent outburst. Why would he not divorce you? Are you stupid? You need to wake up and see reality.
Please, Maria. Please, I'm begging you. Have some compassion for me. I don't care if you're lying. Just please tell him you'll forgive me. I need him back in my life.
Did you not hear a single word I've said? I'm not going to lie for you, Jessica. Why the hell do you think you have any right to demand anything at all? You've lost that right a long time ago. I won't ever forgive you, period. You crossed a line that you can't come back from.
Oh, come on. This was all because of a misunderstanding, right? It wasn't intentional at all. To be divorced over something like that, it's just not right. That's just not fair. It's too harsh a punishment for what happened. And you're still going to be pressing charges too? You're really going to do that to me?
You're damn right I'm going to be pressing charges. You assaulted me, Jessica. There are consequences for that kind of behavior.
I'm really sorry. I truly apologize from the bottom of my heart. I'll do anything at all, so please forgive me. I'm desperate, Maria. I swear, I'll never do anything like this ever again. I've learned my lesson.
There won't be an again. We're done, Jessica. We'll never see each other for the rest of our lives. It's over.
I really do regret everything I've done. I wish I could take it all back. I really do. I just thought that you, alone, would keep treating me like you always have. I took you for granted, and I'm so sorry for that. So when I assumed you were cheating, I just lost it. I couldn't control myself.
There's nothing I can nor want to do to help you, Jessica. You're on your own now. I'm blocking you on everything, too, so just give it up. It's over between us.
Maria, I'm telling you that I'm sorry. I really am. Please believe me. Please, just don't leave me. I need you in my life. I always appreciated you for sticking around with me, even when all I did was boast about my life. I was really happy thinking I got a new sister. I truly cherished our friendship.
You know, Jessica, you say that you thought everyone else was changing after having kids, but I actually don't think that's it at all. I see it differently. It was you who changed, not them. You let your jealousy and insecurity get the best of you. In the end, no one forgave Jessica, and she ended up getting divorced. It was inevitable, really. Apparently, her spending habits were in control when they had just gotten married, but that didn't last very long at all. She soon began bragging about her luxurious life, and sooner or later, she couldn't stop spending. It became an addiction for her. Sure, people change when they have kids. That's just a natural part of life. But bragging just so she could look down on others and insult their new lifestyle? That was completely unacceptable. That was all on her. She made those choices herself. As for pressing charges, we reached a settlement. It was the best option for everyone involved in the end. Firstly, so I can get a hefty settlement fee to help with the medical bills and the emotional distress I suffered. And secondly, so I can get a restraining order so that she can never come near me and my child. I need to protect my family from her. Jessica went back to her parents' place and is living the life of a shut-in now. She's isolated herself from the world. All her social media accounts were deleted, and there wasn't a trace of her former lifestyle to be found anywhere online. Apparently, she had to go into debt to pay the settlement fee, so she won't be bragging about her life anytime soon, that's for sure. As for my injuries, I had hit my head pretty hard, but now I've recovered fully, and I'm living happily with my baby. We're doing well. I think your relationships with your friends do change with your environment and age. That's just a natural part of life, I believe. But Jessica couldn't cope with the change, and people began to leave her first for it. She pushed them away, really. And besides, true friends are those who stick with you no matter how the environment changes. They're there through thick and thin, through all the ups and downs. Not to romanticize any of what happened, but I think I learned from this to be more attentive to the people around me, especially during challenging times. It's important to be understanding and supportive. It's about being present and recognizing that everyone goes through their own journeys, and we need to be there for each other, no matter what happens.
My, Naomi. Are you really feeling okay today? I mean, you were so clumsy today at dinner. Honestly, you were practically tripping over your own 2 feet the whole time. To top it all off, you spilled your dinner everywhere. It's really not something you see a well-grown adult do every day. It's honestly quite embarrassing for me to even watch you, you know?
I'm so sorry about all that, Miss Moore. I really don't know what came over me. Did the others seem upset about it all afterwards? I hope I didn't ruin their evenings.
No, they weren't really angry or anything like that. Just utterly mortified is all. Hard not to be after seeing something like that, really.
Right, makes sense. I can't believe I made such a fool of myself. I just didn't expect there to be a bag there, and I could have sworn it wasn't there before. It was almost as if it just materialized out of thin air. That was your bag, right? The one that I tripped over?
And what if it was? Are you implying something here, Naomi? What? You're really trying to pin the blame on me? Are you really that desperate to save face? That's quite a bold accusation, don't you think?
No, of course not. That's not what I meant at all. I'm just trying to understand what happened. It's just that I clearly remember it being next to you at first, so I was really confused when it just magically appeared there in my path. Just exactly where it needed to be in that moment caused the most chaos, you know?
Well, it's my bag, and I've got every right to put it wherever I like, whenever I like, don't I? It's my personal property after all. Besides, it's your fault for being such a klutz to begin with. Who trips over a bag anyways? Honestly, it's not like it was some sort of obstacle course. And you know what? I've always meant to say this, but you've got no manners, Naomi. Absolutely none. Goodness, did your parents teach you nothing about how to behave in front of others? It's simply appalling.
Manners, you say? Well, that's quite rich coming from you, Mrs. Moore. Funny you should mention that too, because my real parents actually beat it over my head growing up. Can you believe that? They were relentless. Was there anything wrong with my conduct tonight? I'm genuinely curious to hear your feedback. Surely someone as well-mannered as you can enlighten me on the finer points of etiquette.
Don't you dare patronize me, girl. You've got some nerve. To think that you're not even aware of how uncivilized you act, it's truly astounding. You didn't even bother to eat all the plates clean. That's just basic table manners, Naomi.
Mrs. Moore, we were at a traditional Chinese restaurant. If anything, isn't it considered rude to the owners if we were to not leave a bit? It's a sign of respect, you know.
Are you telling me that I'm wrong? How dare you question my knowledge? Who the hell do you think you are talking back to your mother-in-law like that? You've got a lot to learn about respect, young lady.
No, that really wasn't my intention at all. I would never intentionally disrespect you. I'm sorry if I offended you, but I was just trying to clarify something I thought I knew.
I've been alive for about twice as long as you have, Naomi, so I've got a bit more life experience under my belt. Do you really think I do anything that isn't the least bit civilized? I've always prided myself on my impeccable manners. You're one twisted bitch if you think you can just blame other people for your own lack of etiquette. If you're really going to be Leo's wife, I'd sure hope you never even dream of taking that sort of attitude with me, girl, or there will be consequences.
I sincerely apologize, Mrs. Moore. I truly do. I guess I was just remembering things wrong. I must have mixed some things up. It's all a bit hazy now.
You're damn right you did, Naomi. You've got a lot of work to do. Besides, you were all over the place in regards to other things, weren't you? It was like you were in your own little world. You've got no manners as well as not a modicum of civility. It's truly disheartening. I'm beyond embarrassed being the mother-in-law of someone like you. It's a constant source of shame.
Again, I'm sorry to let you down in such a way. I'll try my hardest to improve. I'll do my best to live up to your expectations going ahead. I know I have a long way to go.
Going ahead? When exactly is that going to be? You've been saying that for ages now. And what, you're going to do your best? Clearly that hasn't been enough until now, has it? You're far too lax for someone in your situation. You need to step up your game. Leo's such a kind boy, so he was defending you and all, but you should be embarrassed that he'd even have to in the first place. It reflects poorly on you. I mean, I'm out here only demanding what's expected of you, aren't I? It's not like I'm asking for the moon. We shouldn't even be having this conversation. It's a waste of my time.
Leo's always been there for me, and he's never let me down. He's a true gem. I'll do my best so I won't keep having to depend on him like this, so that I can support him instead from now on.
God, you're good at lining up excuses and saying the right things. I'll give you that. You've got a silver tongue. But anyone can talk all that talk. It means nothing. Actions speak louder than words, Naomi. I'm going to be moving in with the two of you from next month, right? That's the plan, isn't it?
Yes, that's what I've heard from Leo. We're excited to have you join us.
So I only want you to have at least a modicum of courtesy and etiquette by then. Is that too much to ask? I'm only saying this all for you, you know. I want what's best for you, even if you don't see it that way. I mean, I guess if you're so uncivilized, I'd have a hard time inviting my friends over as well. It would be quite awkward. You're a sheer embarrassment the way you are now. It looked bad on me. I can't have that.
I'm terribly sorry, Mrs. Moore. I understand your concerns. I'll figure it out by then, so please, give me a chance to prove myself.
And what the hell are you going to do if you fail to do so by then, huh? I need a guarantee. I'm going to be moving in the next month. There's no turning back now. Oh, wait a minute. That's it. I have an idea. Naomi, are you free tomorrow? I have something in mind.
Yes, I think I should be free tomorrow. Why do you ask?
Then that's just perfect. It's all falling into place. You should come over tomorrow. We'll have a little one-on-one session. I'll slap some of that etiquette you so very lack into you. It'll be a real eye-opener.
All right, I understand. I'll be there.
I'll see you tomorrow then. Don't be late. My, it's so reassuring to see that you're so obedient. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be quite the experience. I'll whip you right into shape, so you better come prepared. Don't say I didn't warn you. Hey, Naomi, what's the big idea, huh? You got some explaining to do. Did you tell Leo about what we're doing today? Did you spill the beans?
Yeah, I did. Is there a problem with that? It's only natural that I tell him what I'll be up to, right? I like to keep him in the loop. Is something the matter? You seem a bit agitated.
Well, thanks to you and your big mouth, Leo got angry at me. He was fuming. I bet you just exaggerated everything, didn't you? You twisted my words to make me look bad. Painted me out as some sort of bitch, huh? That's just not fair.
No, of course not. I would never do that. I just told him exactly what happened, nothing more, nothing less.
What, so you went ahead and told him everything? Every little detail?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I believe in transparency with my husband. So no, I didn't exaggerate anything at all. I was simply relaying the facts.
You absolute idiot. You've really done it this time. Who on earth said you could do such a thing? Of course you aren't allowed to tell him everything. That's basic common sense. I called you over today so I could teach you some manners, didn't I? It was supposed to be a private lesson. So I had to do even things I didn't want to do myself, too. I had to go above and beyond, all because of your loose lips.
What do you mean by that? Things you didn't want to do? That's quite intriguing.
Well, I gave you an entire earful and all, didn't I? I laid it on thick. I mean, I really didn't want to, but I didn't have much of a choice but to be a little strict to get the message across. You weren't exactly receptive at first.
Yes, I suppose. I can be a bit stubborn at times. I mean, I know you were trying to teach me some respect, but I was quite shocked when you just threw out the food I cooked. That was a bit extreme, don't you think? You really weren't doing that out of spite? Were you trying to punish me?
Of course not. What kind of monster do you take me for? I did all that just to teach you some manners, obviously. It was a tough love approach. So why on earth would you just go and tell him everything unfiltered? You made a real mess of things.
Well, if you put it like that, I'm very sorry. I didn't realize the consequences of my actions. I wasn't being considerate enough. I should have thought things through more carefully.
Seriously, get it together, Naomi. You're making my life difficult. If you're that inconsiderate, I'm the one who gets an earful from Leo, and I don't appreciate that. Just how are you going to take responsibility if my relationship with Leo gets worse? You need to think about the bigger picture.
I guess that'd be difficult for me to do, but I'll try my best to make amends. It is true that Leo's been worried for a while about how you would treat me, so I'll do my best to be more well-mannered and respectful towards you. So is it possible for you to tone it down a little? Just a notch or two would make a world of difference.
Excuse me? What the hell are you daydreaming about? You've got some nerve. Don't think you'll ever make a good wife with that sort of attitude. You need to be more submissive and obedient. I'm going to keep up the heat from here on, so you better be prepared. Things are about to get even more intense.
I see. I understand. I'll brace myself. I'll do my best to meet your expectations.
Oh, and I'm planning on going over what I taught you today as well, so you're free this week, aren't you? We can schedule another session.
Actually, I've got plans this week with Leo, so I'd really appreciate it if you could choose another day. I don't want to cancel on him.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're prioritizing Leo over your own self-improvement. I'm making time to teach you things that you should already know. It's for your own good. And are you really going to ignore what I'm doing for you here? You're being incredibly ungrateful.
All right, I'll see if I can reschedule with Leo. I don't want to disappoint you. So what are we going to be doing? What's on the agenda for our next session?
So one of my friends is a yoga instructor. She's quite talented, and she's going to teach you how to lose all that toxicity and be more well-mannered. It's a holistic approach. Think of it like a detox. You'll be cleansed from the inside out. So you should totally come along. It'll be a great experience for you.
Is it all right if I were to join suddenly? Would that not cause your friend any trouble? I don't want to impose myself or anything.
Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. She's very accommodating. We're great friends, so we're totally over stuff like that. No need to be formal. But I'm going to have her whip you into shape, so you better do your best not to be embarrassment in front of everyone else. I won't tolerate any slip-ups.
I see. I understand. I'll be on my best behavior.
After all, a shitty wife like you needs to be whipped back into shape. It's for your own benefit. Take this as a great opportunity to look back on yourself and make some much-needed changes. So don't you even think about skipping out on this. You better show up, Naomi, or you'll regret it.
Thanks for making some time for me today, Miss Moore. I appreciate it. It's been a while since I did yoga, so it was really fun. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
You weren't a beginner, Naomi? You tricked me.
Well, I tried it out a few times in the past, so I had some basic knowledge. Is something the matter? You seem a bit flustered.
Of course something's the matter. What is wrong with you? You've made a fool of me. Thanks to you, you made me lose face. I was humiliated in front of my friend. Is this your way of getting back at me for everything? Are you seeking revenge? Is that it?
Well, that wasn't my intention at all, but you clearly, needed some directions, so I did the least I could do as your daughter-in-law to instruct you. I was just trying to help.
You instruct me? You've got a lot of nerve. Don't get cocky, you stupid bitch. You're getting way ahead of yourself. Know your place. Just because you've done it a bit before, you think you have the right to instruct me? I've been doing yoga for years.
I mean, I've got an instructor's certificate, so technically I've got every right to offer guidance. So there's nothing wrong with being instructed by me. It's perfectly acceptable.
An instructor? You? Are you being serious right now? Don't make me laugh.
But of course, my mom used to be a fitness instructor, and she's always been very strict about health and staying fit. It was a way of life for us. So I figured yoga was a great way to stay fit and be less toxic. It's a mind-body connection. Helps me stay centered and well-mannered and everything. It's a wonderful practice. Getting my license to teach them both actually led to me teaching manners and etiquette of other cultures as well. It's all interconnected.
Now hold on a minute. You literally teach manners as well? That's news to me. So what about everything until now? All the criticism and lectures.
By everything until now, are you possibly referring to all the things you've been criticizing me about? The constant nitpicking? Well, as I've told you before, you've actually learned all those things incorrectly. You've got it all wrong. I mean, I told you so in regards to the whole eating everything on the plates thing, right? That was a major faux pas.
But you said that was all you remembering things wrong. You backpedaled. You said so. Why on earth would you keep your mouth shut about it? You let me continue making a fool of myself.
Well, you seemed so confident about what you knew, so I figured it'd be rude if I just denied what you were saying flat out. I didn't want to cause a scene. I mean, you also said it yourself. You're twice my age. You must know what you're talking about. Surely no one who's so old would be spreading misinformation like that, right?
Don't fucking play dumb with me. You know exactly what you were doing. In that case, you should have told me so until you had me convinced. You should have been more persistent. Even today, my friend made fun of me for getting things wrong. It was so embarrassing. Why the hell do I have to be the one getting laughed at? It's not fair.
I mean, it's not like you listened to me when I told you. You were too busy being defiant. Besides, you're the one who was trying to get me to be the laughingstock in the first place, right? You set me up to fail.
What are you talking about now? That's preposterous.
You were trying to embarrass me, thinking I was some novice, weren't you, Miss Moore? You barely kept it together the entire time. Despite that, your friend left me alone today. She didn't say a word to me. She didn't even bother needing to instruct me. Not that she could have anyways. What I was doing was far beyond her. Think some novice could have pulled off what I did? I don't think so.
Well, I get it. You're a quick learner. I'll give you that. I mean, there's no point in teaching anything advanced to a total novice, right? It would go right over their head. So at first, I was just messing around with you a little bit, testing the waters. I didn't have any other ulterior motives or anything. Embarrassing you, that's some nonsense. I would never intentionally do that.
Well, if that's really true, you wouldn't have acted the way you did. Your actions spoke volumes. Anyone in their right mind would have explained their intentions first, especially to someone they think is a novice. It's just common courtesy. And don't think I forgot about how everyone else was acting as well. They were in on it too. All of them just holding back their laughter and waiting for me to mess up. It was like a cruel game. They all came just to make fun of me, didn't they? It was a setup.
You were just imagining things, that's what it is. You're being paranoid. That's got nothing to do with all this. It's a completely separate issue.
Yeah, I suppose it's irrelevant. For now. We can revisit that later. Besides, I doubt things like this would ever happen again anyways. I learned my lesson.
What do you mean by that? What are you going to do, Naomi?
As it turns out, apparently some of your friends know my mom. It's a fairly small world after all. From now on, I'm actually going to be the one teaching that yoga class. Isn't that ironic? Funny how things turn out, huh? How the tables turn. Heard that there's some student who's got no manners, and they'd appreciate my help dealing with her. Can you believe that?
No way. Did my friend really say that? That's outrageous.
Not only did she say that, but apparently she never really liked what you were doing. She thought it was unprofessional. Bringing newcomers to the class and hanging them out to dry. What kind of instructor appreciates that sort of culture in their class? It's toxic. I mean, you've been given warnings before, right? People have complained.
But that's just, well, unfair is what it is. I considered her a close friend to me all this time. I can't believe she betrayed me like this.
Well, those are two completely separate matters that have nothing to do with me. I'm just an innocent bystander in all of this. Anyways, that's how things are now, so I'm in charge now. From now on, I'm going to be the one re-educating you. You're in my hands now. Oh, and don't think I'll go easy on you. I'm going to be whipping you into shape, so you best be prepared.
I see. I understand. I'm at your mercy.
Miss Moore, I just got off the phone with Leo. He had some news. Is it really true that you've decided not to move in with us? Oh, that's a shame. That just makes me so sad. I was looking forward to living with you. We could have had so much fun together. Anyways, all that aside, I'm going to be coming over today as well, so...
Please, just let me off already. I can't take it anymore. Put yourself in my shoes and imagine what it's like to be grilled like this day and day after. It's exhausting.
Well, it's not just your health routine that's got problems, Miss Moore. There's so much more to address. You clearly have many toxic habits and manners that so clearly need fixing. It's an uphill battle. I'm just simply coming over to instruct you on how to overcome them. It's for your own good. No need to throw a fit about it. I'm doing you a huge favor here. You should be grateful.
Like hell you are. You're just enjoying torturing me. Every time you come, just criticize everything I do. Nothing is ever good enough. I've lived for twice as long as you have. I've got decades of experience. Why the hell do I have to be ordered around by some perky little bitch like you? It's degrading is what it is.
Because you've got no manners in comparison to that perky bitch, you could learn a thing or two from me. And clearly, based on our past, you've got quite the fear of embarrassment. You're always worried about what others think. It's better to fix these things before they get out of hand, don't you think? Prevention is key, Miss Moore.
Ordering me around at class and even back at home, it's relentless. I've had enough. I'm sick and tired of it all. I'm at my breaking point. Thanks to you keeping that act up even in front of my friends and family, I've just been losing face left and right. It's mortifying.
And that's exactly why I need to instruct you even more. You're a work in progress. Besides, isn't that exactly what you used to do to me all the time? You were the queen of criticism. Throwing a tantrum all of a sudden now that it's your turn? How childish. You aren't a child anymore, you know. You need to act your age. You're a grown-up. Twice my age, that. You should know better.
Everything's all fucked because of you. My life is in shambles. My friends make fun of me and I've lost my place at my yoga class. It's all your fault. I've given up on moving in with you two, so just get off my back already. I'm done with this.
Now, let's calm down a little, Miss Moore. That's my yoga class you're talking about. I'm the one in charge. And you moving in has nothing to do with the state of your toxic lifestyle. Those are two separate issues. As your daughter-in-law, it's just been so embarrassing to have a mother who's got no manners. Plus, there's so much I still want to teach you. You've barely scratched the surface. Don't think I'll ever quit until you're truly reformed. I'm in it for the long haul. So don't worry, I've got your back. I'm not going anywhere.
What's Leo saying about all this? Surely he's put a stop to this madness. I've already told Leo about how much trouble you've been causing me. I've kept him informed every step of the way. Knowing that boy hasn't told you to cut it out already, he must be on my side.
Oh, Leo? Well, if anything, my husband's told me to crank up the heat. He wants me to be even stricter. Said something about how this is a great opportunity to reform you. He's fully supportive.
What? You're lying. He would never say that.
Nope, honest. I'm telling you the truth. He's always been worried about how you'd embarrass yourself next, and he's actually really grateful I'm taking the time to fix you up like this. He sees the value in my efforts. As Leo's wife, making sure you don't embarrass yourself any further is the very least I can do. It's my duty.
No, wait, please. I'm begging you. Look, I'll apologize about everything I've done to you until now, okay? I'll admit my wrongdoings. So please, just forgive me already. Please, I'm begging you. I'll do anything.
Absolutely not. Forgiveness is earned, not given. Your condescending attitude towards other people is just horrible for others to watch. It's truly appalling. I mean, imagine what a bitch you'd have to be to just kick others down and feel good about it. It's sickening.
And so I'm saying I'll apologize about that, right? I'm taking ownership of my mistakes. Why won't you listen to me? I'm trying to change. Is it that fun tormenting me? Are you enjoying this?
Oh, I'm not doing this just because it's fun. That's not my motivation at all. Come on, I'm doing this because I just want my dearest mother-in-law to act with the decency you'd expect of someone her age. It's about self-respect. That's exactly the cultured and civilized lifestyle you love talking about. It's time to walk the walk. Like my husband's asked, I'll be going even harder from here on out. I'll be relentless. So don't you even think about running away, okay? There's no escape. After that, I did my best to teach her about mental and physical health, manners, and etiquette, and everything she so considered cultured. It was a comprehensive curriculum. She put up quite a fight at first, but after realizing that there was no way out of it, she actually started to take my classes quite seriously. She finally surrendered. Now she's actually gotten quite proficient at all the things I've taught her. She's a changed woman. During that process, maybe she managed to objectively face all the terrible things she's done in the past, because she one day properly apologized to me for her actions. It was a heartfelt moment. Given how serious she was this time around, unlike the previous countless apologies in the past, I actually found it in me to forgive her. It was time to move on. Now our relationship is that of teacher and student as well as mother and daughter. It's a unique bond we share. I'm really glad I was able to find a healthy way to deal with her formerly toxic attitude and that we were able to become closer as a result of it. It was a journey of growth for both of us. Sure, our relationship isn't like most mother-daughter relationships. It's unconventional, to say the least. But I'm quite content with the one we have today. It's fulfilling in its own way. Congratulations, Miss Williams. I heard everything from Liam. You're going to be moving out, right?
Oh my, Mia. Thank you so much for reaching out to me like this. It's so thoughtful of you to check in on an old lady like me. That's right, dear. My husband's already passed away, so the house where I'm living right now is just a little too large for just little old me all alone. It's far too big for one person, really.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine that it must be quite lonely in such a big empty house all by yourself. Just cleaning your room must be a hassle, let alone the rest of the house. It must be exhausting keeping up with it all.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. A smaller place would be so much more manageable. Once I'm done moving, you and Liam should definitely come visit me in my new place, okay? It would be lovely to have you both over for tea or something. Oh, and don't forget to bring some gifts. It would be nice to have a little housewarming present.
I'll make sure to bring something nice. I wouldn't dream of coming empty-handed. Oh, by the way, I've been meaning to ask, but where exactly are you going to be moving to? I'm curious to know where you'll be settling down.
Where? Why, what's the matter all of a sudden, Mia?
You seem a bit taken aback by my question.
Why are you worrying about something like that? It's not really any of your concern, is it?
Oh, no, I didn't mean anything by it at all, but I was just wondering if what Liam told me was actually correct. Are you really moving to that brand new apartment complex that was just recently built right in front of the station?
Oh yes, that's the one. The very same one you're thinking of. That very beautiful one, yes indeed. It's quite a sight to behold, isn't it? I went for a visitation a while back, and new places are just the absolute best, aren't they? Everything is so fresh and modern. There are so many wonderful facilities there, so I'm sure living there is going to be an absolute blast. I can't wait to enjoy all the amenities.
I see. Well, I'm very glad to hear that you're so excited about it. It sounds like a lovely place to live. Just out of curiosity, if you don't mind me asking, how much is the rent there? I've heard it's quite pricey in that area.
If I remember correctly, I think it's somewhere a little bit north of $2,000 a month. It's a bit steep, but worth it for the location and all the perks. Anyways, what are you interrogating me for all of a sudden, Mia? You're starting to sound like a detective. What are you going to do with all this information anyway? It's not really relevant to you, is it?
$2,000 a month, huh? That's quite a lot of money. I hate to say this, but do you really have that much income coming in every month, Miss Williams? You're living off your pension, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, are you genuinely worried about how I'll be paying off my rent every month? Why, there's absolutely no reason to worry about that at all. Liam will be graciously paying for the entire thing. He insisted on it, actually.
Wait, what? What do you mean by the entire thing? The whole rent every single month? I didn't hear a single thing about this from him at all. He never mentioned it to me.
Oh, really? I didn't know that he hadn't mentioned it to you. That's odd. Well, what's the problem anyways, dear? It's not like it's coming out of your pocket. You're a housewife, right, Mia? This really shouldn't concern you in the slightest, right? It's between Liam and me.
I'm not quite sure I follow what you mean, Mrs. Williams. I'm a bit confused by your line of questioning. Which part of this exactly doesn't concern me? I'm just trying to understand the situation.
You don't make any income of your own, so you have no right to complain or even inquire about this, right? You're only able to live the comfortable life you do thanks to Liam and his hard work, you know. It's his right to spend his hard-earned money on whatever he wants, including helping out his mother. Is there any problem with that, huh? Do you have any objections?
No, that's quite all right. I suppose you're right. I'm sorry for asking all that. I didn't mean to overstep any boundaries.
Oh, it's perfectly fine, so as long as you understand, honey. I'm sure Liam's just as happy as I am that you're such an obedient and understanding wife. It makes things so much easier. Well, there's not really much we can do anyway, even if you did disagree with the arrangement. After all, most of the procedure for the move is already done and dusted. It's all set in motion.
I see. I didn't know you two had decided that much already. It sounds like it's all coming together quickly. Do you guys have a specific date set for when you'll be moving? I'm just curious about the timeline.
Oh, I'm thinking of moving within the next week or so. I'm eager to get settled into my new place. I'm already preparing for the move, packing my belongings and everything. It's quite a lot of work, but I'm making good progress. Actually, I've already paid for everything up front, so I can technically move in right now if I wanted to. I'm all set to go. I mean, you can help me move too if you'd like. It would be lovely to have some assistance.
Oh, but of course, Miss Williams. I'll help in any way I can. Just let me know what you need and I'll be there. I hope you can move in soon and enjoy your new home. It sounds wonderful.
Why, thank you, dear. That's very kind of you to say. Well then, I think I might take you up on your offer and have you help me a little bit with the move. I could use an extra pair of hands. Oh, and also, take care of the whole rent thing with Liam, okay? Make sure he follows through on his promise.
Of course, leave it to me. I'll make sure everything is taken care of.
Hey, Mia, what on earth are you doing? This isn't like we talked at all. This is completely unacceptable.
Wait, what's going on, Miss Williams? What seems to be the problem? What do you mean by this isn't like we talked? I'm not sure I understand what you're referring to.
Oh, don't you play dumb with me, young lady. Liam just told me, in no uncertain terms, that he couldn't pay for my rent after all. I thought you said you weren't going to get in the way of this anymore. You promised me you wouldn't interfere. Oh my, Mia.
Wait, really? I didn't know about this at all. This is news to me. I'm so incredibly sorry to hear that. I truly didn't mean for this to happen, but, well, it might be that Liam got the entirely wrong idea about something during our conversation.
Thank you so much for reaching out to me like this. It's so thoughtful of you to check in on an old lady.
Well, the truth is, after our brief talk the other day, I went and talked to Liam about our finances, and given how extraordinarily high your rent is, we probably need to cut back on other expenses a bit to make sure we can afford it all.
Like me. That's right, dear. My husband's already passed away, so the house where I'm living right now.
Well, when we were talking, I may have accidentally said some rather harsh and insensitive things, so I think Liam may have gotten the completely wrong idea from what I said. He might have misinterpreted my intentions. I'm certainly not saying we won't pay the rent or anything drastic like that.
Now is just a little too large for just little old me all alone. It's far too big for one person, really. Right? That's exactly what I'm saying. A smaller place would be so much more manageable. Once I'm done moving, you and Liam should definitely come visit me in my new place, okay? It would be lovely to have you both over for tea or something.
Yes, I completely understand how upsetting this must be for you. I'm so very sorry about all this mess. I honestly didn't think things would turn out like this at all. I never intended to cause you any harm. I'm so terribly sorry for all the trouble and inconvenience I'm causing you here. I feel just awful about it.
Oh, and don't forget to bring some gifts. It would be nice to have a little housewarming present. Where? Why, what's the matter all of a sudden, Mia? Why are you worrying about something like that? It's not really any of your concern, is it? Oh yes, that's the one. The very same one you're thinking of. That very beautiful one, yes, indeed. It's quite a sight to behold, isn't it? I went for a...
Yes, I really do regret what I've done. I'm so incredibly sorry, Miss Williams. I wish I could take it all back. I'll talk to Liam myself and try to reason with him, so please, just give me some time to sort this whole mess out. I'll do my best to fix it.
Visitation a while back, and new places are just the absolute best, aren't they? Everything is so fresh and modern. There are so many wonderful facilities there, so I'm sure living there is going to be an absolute blast. I can't wait to enjoy all the amenities. If I remember correctly.
Right, I am so very sorry. I know I've made a huge mistake. But are you absolutely sure you don't need me to talk to him and try to smooth things over? If I don't intervene, then you're the one who's going to be in real trouble, right? You'll be the one left homeless.
I think it's somewhere a little bit north of $2,000 a month. It's a bit steep, but worth it for the location and all the perks. Anyways, what are you interrogating me for all of a sudden, Mia? You're starting to sound like a detective.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you trying, even after everything that's happened. I'm so sorry you have to sort things out when you're even coming to celebrate my birthday at all. You really shouldn't have to deal with this. Seriously, you have no idea how much I appreciate your efforts. It means a lot to me.
What are you going to do with all this information anyway? It's not really relevant to you, is it? Oh, are you genuinely worried about how I'll be paying off my rent every month? Why, there's absolutely...
Oh, have you already prepared something for me? Oh, you really shouldn't have. I don't deserve it after all this trouble I've caused.
No reason to worry about that at all. Liam will be graciously paying for the entire thing. He insisted on it, actually. Oh, really? I didn't know that he hadn't mentioned it to you. That's odd. Well, what's the problem anyways, dear?
Well, see you tomorrow then. I'm looking forward to it.
It's not like it's coming out of your pocket. You're a housewife, right, Mia? This really shouldn't concern you in the slightest, right? It's between Liam and me. You don't make any income of your own, so you have no right to complain or even inquire about them.
So this is the grand birthday present you were talking about, huh? Kicking me out of my own home? How generous of you. Don't you dare come crying to me after kicking me out of the house I've lived in for years, Mom. You'll regret this.
This, right? You're only able to live the comfortable life you do thanks to Liam and his hard work, you know. It's his right to spend his hard-earned money on whatever he wants, including helping out his mother. Is there any problem with that, huh? Do you have any objections?
Oh, we'll see who the real sore loser is soon enough. Just you wait and see. Don't say I didn't warn you when that inevitable time comes. You'll be begging for forgiveness.
Oh, it's perfectly fine, so as long as you understand, honey. I'm sure Liam's just as happy as I am that you're such an obedient and understanding wife. It makes things so much easier. Well, there's not really much we can do anyway, even if you did disagree with the arrangement. After all, most of the procedure for the move is already done and dusted. It's all set in motion. Oh, I'm thinking of moving within the next week or so. I'm eager to get settled into my new place. I'm already preparing for the move, packing my belongings and...
Oh, really? Well, that's quite funny because I actually find you and Liam's situation more utterly laughable than mine, if I'm being completely honest with you. You're the ones who should be worried.
Everything. It's quite a lot of work, but I'm making good progress. Actually, I've already paid for everything up front, so I can technically move in right now if I wanted to. I'm all set to go.
Well, to put it in your own so eloquent words, Mom. Oh my goodness, just imagine letting your precious daughter-in-law run away and then becoming homeless yourself shortly after. I simply can't stop laughing at the sheer absurdity of it all. Something like that, right? How does it feel to have your own words thrown back at you? Thanks entirely to you and your brilliant plan, your precious son Liam is going to be homeless now, so...
You can help me move too if you'd like. It would be lovely to have some assistance. Why, thank you, dear. That's very kind of you to say. Well then, I think I might take you up on your offer and have you help me
It seems like you're just a tad bit confused about a couple of crucial things here, but I'm not actually a housewife at all, Miss Williams. I have a job, and a good one at that. If anything, it's your son who's the one with absolutely no income right now. He's the freeloader.
a little bit with the move. I could use an extra pair of hands. Oh, and also, take care of the whole rent thing with Liam, okay? Make sure he follows through on his promise. Hey, Mia, what on earth are you doing? This isn't like we talked at all. This is completely unacceptable. Oh, don't you play dumb with me, young lady. Liam just told me, in no uncertain terms, that he couldn't pay for my rent after all. I thought you said you weren't going to get in the way of this anymore.
To think that your precious Liam couldn't even sustain himself financially, so his hard-working wife had to start working to support the both of them, and then to top it all off, he had the audacity to lose his job in the end. It's just shameful. Well, most people would be far too embarrassed to even admit such a shameful and humiliating thing, wouldn't they?
You promised me you wouldn't interfere. What are you talking about, Mia? Explain yourself. So, what about it? How does that lead to this current unfortunate situation? But that's the most likely cause of all this confusion and trouble, right? It's the only thing that makes sense. Well then, it's all entirely your fault, isn't it? You're the one who messed everything up.
Well, believe whatever you will, Miss Williams. It doesn't really matter to me at this point. But you should seriously consider the very real and devastating ramifications of your son becoming homeless. It's not going to be pretty.
I'm planning on moving into my new apartment tomorrow, and now I'm left high and dry. You cannot be serious. What the hell am I supposed to do now? I'm at my wit's end.
Well, imagine, just for a brief moment, that everything I'm saying is entirely true. Every single word of it. In that case, what are you going to do with your ridiculously exorbitant rent being solely dependent on little Liam and his completely non-existent income? How will you survive? Do you honestly think you can pay for even next month's rent? What, all on your own, with no help from anyone at all? Because if you can't, well, that inevitably means you're out on the cold, unforgiving streets and homeless too. Just like me.
Besides, you're just a housewife who doesn't even earn her own keep, relying on my son for everything. And you really thought you had any right whatsoever to talk about your husband's hard-earned money? What on earth were you thinking interfering like that? We wouldn't be in this horrendous situation if you hadn't said anything silly in the first place. You should have just kept your mouth shut. Do you really, truly understand the magnitude of what you've done to me, Mia? You've ruined everything. No, just forget it. I don't want you doing anything more to worsen this already.
Yeah, whatever you say, Miss Williams. Believe what you want to believe. This whole situation has absolutely nothing to do with me anymore anyway. I am washing my hands of it. There really isn't any point in discussing this any further at this stage. It's a waste of my time. Well then, excuse me. I have better things to do than argue with a delusional old woman. Have a lovely life together with your son, out on the streets, begging for scraps.
Terrible situation even further. You've done enough damage. God, I honestly didn't think my son would marry someone so utterly useless and incompetent. I'm surprised he's even still married to you, to be perfectly frank. I'll figure something out on my end. Don't you worry about me. I'll manage somehow. It's your birthday tomorrow, right, Mia? I'll stop by to celebrate, so I'll talk to Liam then in person. We'll sort this out one way or another.
Ugh, how can I possibly help you now, Mrs. Williams? It's so late in the night. I was just getting ready for bed. Don't you have any common sense at all, calling at this hour? Can you please, for once, just leave me alone? I need some peace and quiet.
Well, don't you worry too much about it, dear. We'll get through this. I'll celebrate your birthday properly, so just you look forward to it. It'll be a nice distraction from all this stress.
I don't really want to. Besides, you're the one who so rudely kicked me out in the first place, weren't you? Now, why on earth would I ever have to return to the likes of you and your son? I'm done with both of you.
That's a surprise for tomorrow, dear. You'll just have to wait and see. I just figured out a way to solve the whole rent debacle while also celebrating your birthday at the same time. I've got a plan.
So now that you know the truth, you want me to come crawling back, is that it? That's just what's convenient for you right now, isn't it? You only want me back because you need me. And I really couldn't care less about what's convenient for you at this point in time. I'm looking out for myself now.
So you just sit tight and wait. Everything will work out in the end. I'm feeling absolutely fantastic today. That's what you get for getting in my way, you stupid, ungrateful girl. Think you finally understand your little...
My problem is, for someone who kicked me out so heartlessly and unceremoniously, you sure do spout some seriously convenient and hypocritical shit when it suddenly suits you. It's disgusting. Besides, I'll have the divorce papers officially delivered to you by tomorrow morning. It's already in motion. And if you're going to adamantly refuse to let me go and drop this whole nonsense, I'll just bring the two of you to court and force the issue. I'm not afraid to fight for what I want. It's happening whether you like it or not. So as far as I'm concerned, we're complete and utter strangers now. There's no going back.
Position now, huh? You've learned your lesson, haven't you? How can you still talk so big and act so tough and mighty when you just got kicked out, along with all your precious belongings? It's pathetic, really. Didn't know you were such a sore loser. Some people just can't take a loss with even a shred of grace, can they? Excuse me? I honestly don't think you quite understand the gravity of your own situation right now at all.
God, you've really got your head so far up your own self-righteous ass, don't you, Mom? You're so blind to reality. I didn't stay married to your son because I genuinely liked him or anything even remotely close to that. I stayed for other reasons entirely. Well, then why didn't you just get divorced from him immediately then, huh? If you hated him so much, why didn't you leave? The real reason why Liam lost his job was because of the absolutely abhorrent and unacceptable way he treated his coworkers. It finally caught up with him. People finally found out about how he cruelly educated his underlings, as he so arrogantly liked to call it.
You have absolutely no income and no home at this point. You're officially homeless from today onwards. You're out on the street with nothing to your name. Yet you still have the sheer nerve to carry such a
Like hell it doesn't. You're incredibly naive if you believe that. You really think someone with that sort of vile and disgusting attitude at work wouldn't bring it back home with him and inflict it on his own family? Tell you the truth, he was selfish, controlling, manipulative, and downright abusive back at home as well. He treated me horribly. That's probably the real reason why he'd have no problem carelessly promising to pay your exorbitant rent when he has absolutely no income of his own. He's irresponsible and reckless.
Defiant and disrespectful attitude with me? It's beyond belief.
I've been treated unfairly and unjustly by Liam this entire time we've been married. It's been a nightmare. And I was simply waiting patiently for the perfect moment to finally get back at him for everything he's put me through over the years. He deserves it.
Goodness gracious, imagine becoming homeless on your own birthday. I simply can't stop laughing at the irony of it all. It's just...
Exactly. And just because I didn't fight back against your awful behavior, you were quite comfortable abusing and mistreating me too, no? You thought you could walk all over me? So naturally, I thought it'd be much, much better to get the two of you at once, with one carefully calculated fell swoop. 2 birds, 1 stone. So I have absolutely zero intention of calling off the divorce whatsoever. Not a chance in hell. If anything, the whole point of this entire charade was to drop this bombshell on you, precisely at this very moment. You're reaping what you sowed.
Too perfect. What are you even saying at this point? You're talking absolute nonsense. Have you finally lost it completely? Did the reality of the situation finally get to you at last? Have you snapped? What? My sweet boy, homeless? That's impossible. Stop being so utterly and completely daft. What are you even
Why would I ever have to care about people who've only ever tried to use me and take advantage of me at every turn? You don't deserve my sympathy. Do whatever you want with your pathetic, miserable lives after I've divorced your good-for-nothing son. I don't care anymore.
talking about? You're clearly delusional. Excuse me? What kind of preposterous lie are you trying to feed me right now? Can you please just drop the pathetic jokes already? They're not funny in the least. He told me himself that you're just a simple, stay-at-home housewife. He never said a single word about having quit his job to me.
Well, we're no longer family, so I have absolutely no obligation whatsoever to save you from the mess you've created for yourselves. You dug your own graves. You're the ones who cruelly pushed me away and abused me so relentlessly for years, so I don't see a single problem in the two of you ending up on the streets because of your own despicable actions. You deserve it. If anything, I sure do hope you two stay on the streets, never again finding the lovely and comfortable home that you lost because of your own greed and cruelty. In the end, I had to drag those two stubborn and entitled asses to court, kicking and screaming the entire way, just to get officially divorced. It was an exhausting ordeal. Thanks to all the evidence I had meticulously collected over the long, grueling years of Liam's relentless abuses, as well as the undeniable proof of Miss Williams' deplorable and manipulative actions throughout this whole dreadful ordeal, I thankfully won the case outright. Justice was finally served. After that sweet victory, I'm able to legally divorce Liam while also receiving a rather meager compensation fee for all the pain and suffering I endured. It was a small consolation, but a consolation nonetheless. To be completely fair, the compensation wasn't all that much in consideration to their dire new financial situation, which was entirely their own fault. But the sheer fact that I managed to take some of their precious money they clearly didn't deserve, made for some incredibly sweet and satisfying revenge. It was a taste of their own medicine. I don't actually know what ultimately happened to the two of them after that fateful day in court, so I honestly can't say for certain if they're really homeless and destitute or not. Though knowing them and their complete lack of financial responsibility, I am absolutely sure it's no easy life they've inadvertently found themselves in now. They have no one to blame but themselves. As for me, I can easily and comfortably afford my own place now, all thanks to the fact that I got a well-deserved promotion at work. My hard work and dedication finally paid off. So no, I am absolutely not homeless. Not even close, in fact. I'm thriving. Plus, now that I no longer need to financially sustain that lazy, good-for-nothing bum Liam, I'm living quite comfortably and treating myself well, as I absolutely should. I've earned it. Now that I've finally managed to put those two toxic people behind me for good, I'm planning on living my life to the absolute fullest from now on, without any regrets. I'm free, and it feels amazing.